I recently read something on Fool.com about selling assets to pay off debt, and that's what I am here to share with you today. This topic, of course, reminded me of this one conversation I had with a friend who was in huge debt, and a part of it was a car loan. She was struggling to make ends meet, the car was not generating any income, and it didn't seem like life would come to a standstill without the car. And because she was severely worried about her situation, so I told her to sell off her car and pay some of the debt off. To me, at that point, it sounded like a great advice, and of course, she didn't sell her car. If you're loaded with debt but don't have the cash on hand to pay it off in a reasonably quick fashion, you may be inclined to tap into your investment portfolio, sell off some of the assets, and use the proceeds to cover your obligations. Whether or not that's a good idea will depend on your circumstances. To see if it makes sense to sell off investments to pay your debts, you'll need to compare the cost of your debt with the amount of interest you stand to give up by selling off an asset. For example, say you're carrying a balance on a credit card that charges 18% interest. If a given investment of yours generally delivers an average yearly 6% return, you may be better off liquidating that asset and using the proceeds from its sale to pay down your debt, since you'll be much better off restarting the investment once debt-free. And that said, chances are you have different assets in your portfolio that generate different returns. When deciding which to sell off, you should opt for the ones that deliver the lowest interest, the lowest returns. For example, if you have a bunch of stocks that have collectively given you a 12% average annual return in recent years, and some bonds that have yielded just 3% on average, it makes sense to hang on to the stocks and cash out the bonds, assuming you won't lose money in the process. And that, of course, leads to another important point. If you're going to sell investments to pay off debt, aim to avoid taking losses on them. While investment losses can help lower your taxes, that's not what we're trying to do here. Rather, you're trying to scrounge up as much money as possible to chip away at whatever debt you're saddled with. So if you have an investment you stand to lose money on by selling it right away, it pays to hold on to it and see if it recovers. At that point, you could liquidate it and use your proceeds to address your debt. Of course, the type of debt you're carrying should also be a part of the equation. If you're carrying healthy, low-interest debt such as a home loan, then you shouldn't rush to sell off investments to get rid of those obligations. On the other hand, if you're talking about costly, unhealthy debt like that of the credit card variety, it may be wise to sell off some investments and use the proceeds to lower your balance. And now here comes the big question. Will using investments to eliminate debt help you avoid that mistake in the future? In some cases, it is a good idea to sell off investments to pay down debt, but before you do that, think about why you landed in debt in the first place and aim to not have a repeat. Remember, you can't always count on being able to liquidate assets to tackle debt. The stock market could tank, for example, and until it comes back up, you might have to leave your investments alone. So don't count on your portfolio to bail you out, because the point of having one should be to invest for the long haul, not pay down pesky credit card balances. Adopt smart financial habits so you're not stuck in an unhealthy debt scenario again, something I keep repeating. At the same time, build some emergency savings so that the next time an unplanned bill lands in your lap, you won't be forced to rack up debt in the course of addressing it. If this video today makes sense to you, then please share this on your Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp with friends, family, and your communities. All it takes is a forward to pay it forward. And if you are in debt and have been struggling to bring velocity in reaching your debt freedom, then sign up for our intensive Debt to Freedom program. The link is in the description of this video. At Women on Wealth, many women have become debt-free and many more are on their way. And you can join them too. I thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.